do.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So I really like starting these things in a totally random way. So Esther's just landed here and I said, should we start? And she's like, yeah, let's start. Then I asked her a question and hit record as she was processing the thought, because I love the idea that these conversations are like we could be sitting in a coffee shop in town somewhere, just really reflecting and mulling over what's amazing. So when you reflected on that question, what have you seen? What's been mystical? What's been magical? What's been gold for you? What came out?
Yeah, it's interesting that you did that, and that, like, in a flash, what comes up is what comes up, huh?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and that is one of the things that actually, I think watching you and how you do want to feel gold, and you know that there's gold in your listening.
Yeah.
That is one of the things that came up for me. That
Oh,
was
wow.
one of the insights I had, or realizations actually, that I had a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. That ties in with in Fiona's conversation when she was talking about her lead generator, and she was talking about how she feels she's moving more in flow with the leads, and it dawned on me then that the leads would always be there. The lead generator is always generating the leads. So if you just replace the context of that and go, the universe is always sending you gold. Now your only job is to switch your gold radar on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the way that, for me, that you changed, like your energy changed, that is something that is, more than the personality.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I felt this the connection of the path that we're all on, the personal path, but it's the same. It's
Yeah.
the intention that you share, and that makes it so attractive to follow. And that's where I got the next insight, that it really comes down to us and how we listen for us to get the insights, because we have the capacity to have insights, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. So let's just make sure we capture this, right? And when I say capture this, it means basically I'm pouring a hot tub of what you're saying and I'm just slipping into it currently. So first of all, you talked about having gold listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then your second one is about how it really is our creative power.
Mm-hmm.
It really is our insights. It's self-indulgence in its best form, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
Because the symptom is you get to create this fantastic thing to be a part of,
Mm-hmm.
and way of being in the world. So that's beautiful. How about that? That's gold in under 3 minutes. That's got to be a record.
I don't know about that, but for me, like, it shivers down the spine,
Yeah. Hey,
it's just
even if it's not true, I'm really loving the story.
exactly,
I'm not so worried about
exactly.
that part. About the is it true part? I don't know. The story is amazing. That's a world gold record. Brilliant. Yeah, great. So what else is? Let's mine further. What else?
Well, what comes out of that, and that's what I like, um, just the realization that something comes out of that, instead of thinking about the next step, or thinking about a process as steps you have to make, but it's more like a process where things flow naturally out of where or how you are being in that moment. And when it doesn't happen, I know that I'm thinking too much. I'm
Oh,
thinking
Esther,
about the
this
next
is
step.
so good. This is so good. So I just want to go slowly enough that I can feel
Yeah.
it all. Right. So the vision I had when you said that was I was planting seeds in the garden. So often hear Steve Hardison talk about there's how we're being, and then we're planting seeds from that continually, and then we get what we sow. And I really heard that in what you were saying there. That was amazing. Just say it again. Just indulge me, humor me.
Well, the way I understand
Hmm.
it, because you translated it a bit different, but that's
Oh, cool, brilliant.
that's
Oh, yeah,
that's
let's see
that's the nice
where
thing about it, yeah.
yeah, go on then.
Because that's always also an insight I had, or a realization that what I am telling you now, or what I'm telling other people now, it doesn't really matter how you hear it. If you hear it
Mm,
for you, there is gold in there. And it
mm,
doesn't matter if my message that I want to bring forward comes forward as I want to bring it forward, because it comes from the intention of, oh, let's see how my words come out, and maybe I'll get an insight even listening to that, or listening to the process, and not being busy with, oh, what is next. It doesn't come from my thinking, it comes from somewhere else.
yeah,
So how I'm being, just what comes out of there, it flows naturally. And if it doesn't, I know I'm thinking, I should
that
be
was it.
mindful.
Yeah, that was it. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't even describe that. I can only feel it.
exactly.
I don't have any language for that. Yeah, I love that.
And
Amazing.
what I think is so, for me, what comes out of there is, I shouldn't be worried about what to do next, or what is over there. I should be very worried, or not worried, but I should be mindful and attentive to what is actually here. And then something flows out of that, because I am so curious about what's happening here, that and about the process, that I am in the process of what is happening.
Yeah,
Because it's constantly moving, but I can think that it's not moving because I'm here and I want to be there.
yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. So, I mean, what I heard in that was you've had a really profound, I would say, insight into the utility of something that can appear quite abstract. So, like focusing on who we're being, it can drop into one of those, well, that's a nice idea
yeah,
things. Oh yeah, it's a nice idea, but actually what I've got to do is create clients. And so I don't really have time for that. Maybe when I've created everything I need, when I've got all the clients I need and I've made all the money I need, then maybe just maybe, there's like 5 minutes left in the day, I'll have a think about that being thing. And it sounded to me like what you've seen and understood and embodying is that when you place all focus on that, then everything else automatically unfolds. It's implicit that that happens. And if that apparent unfolding doesn't appear to be happening, then it's simply because you're looking over there. You've lost sight
exactly.
of the thing. So it'd be like me doing the whole interview that way, going, "Oh, this is brilliant, Esther. It's such a good time talking to you, missing that you're there." I love it. Yeah, does that sort of
Yeah, exactly. And it reminds me of, I don't know if you probably remember the talk you had with Dominic Scafidi. And
I
I
don't remember
remember
much
that
of it
one of
because
you
you were into
said
my
there is
brain.
actually no distinction between, there's no difference between client creation and just the principle of creation.
Yeah,
It's the same, and it's the same in your life as it is in client creation, as it is in, it's just the abundance, just growing from where you are. And if you come to appreciate that, and appreciate that you're in a process,
that
you don't
phrase,
have to be
that
there.
phrase. Sorry, I
Yes.
just want to draw people to that phrase. It's just the abundance growing from where you are. You feel
Yeah,
that? It's just July. That's all it is. It's just the
that's
abundance
all it
growing
is.
from. That's it. Isn't that like so? Even the notion of client creation, which is really just a thought, it's a perception. It's an observer viewpoint of what appears to be happening. even that can get in the way. That could just be a distraction, versus what you've just shared there about the abundance. That's genius. I love
Yeah.
it. Go on, keep going.
Yeah. Well, it brings me to another realization that I already knew, but that really struck me right in my core, that the most important thing is how I take care of myself. And everything flows out of there. And that is so far from the perspective of me and myself and I in the first and the second and the third place. Is a very egoistic standpoint. But I now know, and I now feel also, that taking really good care of myself in every aspect of my life is actually serving.
Totally.
And that makes everything so easy. It makes everything so light. And I think just being, that makes sense. When being with someone, it just transforms people without me doing any effort. And it made so much sense when I thought about, people that grow up, or people that are with people that blame them, or that throw names at them, and then you come to sort of believe, or you sort of feel this energy and it becomes yours. But it works the other way around too. So when people are out of who they are, just looking from a perspective of lightness of being, then that seeps into the other being as well, without effort.
That's beautiful. Looking from the perspective of the lightness of being. Yeah. You're creating yourself as the lightness of being, and that's what's pouring out of the eyes. That's what's hearing, that's what's speaking, that's what's feeling, smelling, tasting, touching, all of it. And you're right, in that presence, in the presence of presence, if you like, unravels pure presence. All the gifts come from that, don't they? Yeah. Wow.
And now I want to share with you a little small thing that is sort of an illustration of how easily I can make myself smaller than that center of lightness of being and the loving of life and stuff like that. And I want to go back to the invitation that you send out in the group. Like, I'm having so much fun with these conversations, and I'm finding gold myself in the talks with these people. Like, oh, please reach out if you wanna have a talk. And the first thought that came up was, what do I have to tell? And then, but I'm sure that Dave doesn't mean me, it's about me. And then the third,
right, I didn't.
No. He would probably never invite me, and then you can go down that thinking route, and you just feel awful.
Yeah. That's funny, actually, because when I wrote it, temporarily, my mind went, oh, but what if no one wants to talk? What if everybody goes, oh, that's just Dave doing the what if that's the case? Oh, and then I've got to see everybody in 2 weeks' time. And then what will they think? Yeah, so I had my version of that game too. Then I hit send anyway.
Exactly. Exactly. And I did the same. And I thought, it doesn't matter. I just find gold in that, because
oh, that's funny. I like that. We were kind of playing tennis together on our own on a wall somewhere.
Exactly.
with our own thinking and our own version of a self-created demon. I love it. What if no one wants to talk to me? Then how bad will I feel? Yeah. That's cute. Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, what the consequence of this series of realization actually, or insights I had, is really tangible in the talks I have with people. And yesterday I had a talk with someone that well, just to put it somewhere where it's really a serious situation that she is in, where she's dealing with suicide and people that fall fall away in her life, and she's in a really heavy situation and heavy emotional situation. And I talked to her yesterday, and we just laughed until we cried. And I was thinking at that moment, like, how on earth is this possible? This would never be possible if I wouldn't come from joy, without overthrowing somebody else's feelings, but respecting that. And still to touch on that laughter and that joy and that aliveness. And I think that it can only come when everything is welcomed, when it's not only the thing you want that you focus on, but you are just there with what is. And that is so precious. Yeah.